Imagine trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? But the haystack is the entire internet, and you're doing it live on YouTube for like days on end.
Yeah, that is, it's a pretty wild scenario to just broadcast to the world.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive, where we are jumping into something super fascinating. We've got two main sources today. First, a product page from a store called 24/7 Stream.
Right.
And second, a really detailed blog post from April 11th, 2026 by a developer named Vicky Kumar. And this post is all about a live public marathon where he builds and runs this custom Onion Vanity URL generator.
Yeah, and he's running the whole thing on a Headless VPS, which is, well, a virtual private server.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to explore this really weird intersection of, radical transparency, the brutal math of cryptographic probability, and this is the kicker, how you actually build a privacy-focused business out of completely free code.
Which sounds contradictory, right? But it makes total sense when you break it down.
Okay, let's unpack this, because before we get into the crazy server setup in the YouTube stream, we need to understand what he's actually making. We're talking about Tor hidden services and Vanity Onion URLs.
Right. So normally on the regular web, you type in a word, like a brand name, and the DNS maps it to an IP address.
Like typing in google.com or whatever.
Exactly. But the Tor network doesn't do that. There's no central registry. When you make a hidden service, it just generates a cryptographic key pair. So the URL you get, that .onion address, is actually just a base 32 encoded version of a public key.
Which is why they look like complete garbage, right? Like 50 characters of just random numbers and letters.
Yeah, it's literal math rendered as text. The randomness guarantees the security, but it makes it completely impossible to remember.
Or to even recognize. So a vanity URL is when you force that address to start with a chosen word, like a prefix. Kind of like, think of it like trying to get a custom vanity license plate for your car.
That's a good way to look at it.
But instead of just going to the DMV and filling out a form, you have to stand in front of this, like, insanely fast cryptographic slot machine. You pull the lever, and it spits out millions of plates, and you just wait until it randomly gives you the word you want.
And you really are just waiting. You can't ask for it. You just brute force it. And, if we connect this to the bigger picture, this whole thing is really about establishing trust.
Trust in a place that's known for being totally anonymous.
Exactly. The Tor network is used by journalists, activists, secure platforms like SecureDrop. They need legitimacy.
But wait, let me push back on that for a second. If the whole point of Tor is user anonymity, why do you, the listener, care about a brand name? Doesn't stamping a brand on your dark web URL defeat the purpose of hiding?
Well, you have to separate the user from the service. The user visiting the site stays anonymous, their IP is masked, but the service provider, they need to prove they are who they claim to be.
Oh, because otherwise anyone could just make a fake site.
Right. Anyone can generate a random onion address in 2 seconds. It is so easy to spin up a phishing site, and since regular addresses are just gibberish, users can't tell the difference between the real site and the fake one.
So the vanity prefix proves you put the work in.
Exactly. If a whistleblower site has a custom prefix, it proves they spent massive computational power to find it. A bad actor can't just easily fake that.
Got it. It's a trust signal. So let's talk about that work, because the way Vicky Kumar is running this slot machine is fascinating. The tech stack under the hood is like this highly efficient Frankenstein monster.
It really is the ultimate minimum viable product.
Yeah. So he's using Python, specifically Flask, to run the web interface. But Python is, pretty slow for heavy math.
Oh, it would completely choke if it tried to do the actual hashing.
Right. So for the heavy lifting, he uses this C-based engine called MKP240.
Because C operates so close to the processor's bare metal, it handles the raw generation of those ED255 signatures perfectly, and then Python just acts as the dashboard.
And then he takes all of this, the C engine, Python, Linux stuff, and wraps it in a Docker container. And he's running the entire thing on a server with just 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Which is practically nothing for what he's about to do next.
Yes. The live stream. This is where I couldn't believe it. He decides to stream this entire generation process live on YouTube, 24/7.
With countdown timers and server stats just right there on the screen.
But he's running a headless server. A headless VPS literally means there's no monitor, there's no graphical interface. So he is broadcasting a back-end terminal. You're just watching text scroll on a black screen. I mean, isn't that the ultimate version of watching paint dry? Why broadcast that?
What's fascinating here is his philosophy of radical transparency. A lot of private services just hand you a key and say, trust us, it's